All right, welcome back to Diaper Babies, and we're going to be reviewing the original 2003 Pirates of the Caribbean. Johnny Depp's been on our minds recently, in our thoughts and in our prayers. So
You don't need it. He got a good lawyer.
yeah, he's got a handful of them. But we just figure we would do some more Johnny Depp movies, because why not?
All right, let's talk about pirates.
Yeah, let's talk about Pirates. All right. So, released 2003, had a budget of 140 million and made 654 million dollars.
Yeah.
So it was like a profit like 500 million dollars essentially.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
is
No
there
shit at
anything?
profit.
Yeah, but that's just that's just the box office.
Uh,
That's not even like merchandise, toys, like soundtracks. That's just box office. So it probably made $1 billion, honestly.
yeah.
Um, so we all know what Pirates of the Caribbean is. We all know what a Johnny Depp is. Let's just move into it. Jerry, show stealer.
Um. Okay. You know how in Poltergeist, Poltergeist was directed by Toby Hooper, but it has that Spielberg look. It has that Spielberg effect.
Yeah.
This has the same thing, but it's the Disney thing.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it. It's still an action movie, but you don't have those extreme moments of not violent, but these extreme moments of total chaos, like action movies used to be, where it's just the the action is appropriate in the sense of this makes sense, this sword fight, this battle that these pirates are doing, this makes sense, not just okay, it's been 15 minutes, the audience is going to be asleep, let's throw something in here to wake up the dudes in the audience, and I really like that. I like that Disney, kind of just okay, we can throw comedy, we can throw horror, basically with the skeletons, but we can throw action, but we can kind of make it seem like it has a purpose instead of just yeah, throw it in there. Fuck it.
What it felt like to me was somebody said, "Hey, you remember the Goonies? Let's do that shit, but like seriously, let's do that
Which
shit."
is a Spielberg effect.
Exactly. That's how it felt. That's what it
Yeah.
reminded me of. Like big I talk about this in the nostalgia reviews all the time. Big sets from the 80s make you feel something completely different when watching it.
Yeah.
Like CGI, and you can just feel a big set, whether it's a soundstage or not, you can just feel it.
Yeah.
And that's always great. And this movie does that really well.
Yeah. It's an
So is
emotion.
that your show stealer?
I yeah, I'm really gonna I could go through actors, the acting's great, the location looks are great. Yeah, there's a lot of really good things, but I really enjoy, and that also that Disney effect, that's the house that Pirates is the house that Marvel lives in. This new Marvel Cinematic Universe would not be there if it wasn't for the Pirates of the Caribbean kind of doing that Disney action style.
Showing that big movies can work, kind of.
Yeah, that you can have a blockbuster style action, but it's still kind of it makes sense, and it's still
Yeah.
it's family friendly, Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I could not see the kids gathering around for a Batman movie, especially a Nolan one. You know, like like a 5-year-old sitting there watching one of the Batman movies and you know, like getting it the same way he gets Iron Man or, you know, I mean,
Yeah. So
so
the formula.
the formula. Yeah, there you go. That's my show stealer. What's yours?
Um, my show stealer. Obviously, you know, you got your actors and stuff, and because there's no bad actors in this movie.
No.
There's one. I'm gonna try and tiptoe around it so I don't sound racist, but I'll get to that later. The sets, the set
Yeah.
design, the just the overall epicness of this picture, like the way it makes you feel like it's so large, it's on such a grand scale. That to me is the show stealer.
Yeah. Like I think that's like even in certain like set designs, yeah, the sets, the way they make you feel, it makes you feel like they're actually on a boat, you know. It makes you
Right.
feel like they're in the Caribbean. It, you know, they're not like in Hollywood on a sound stage, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when you watch on YouTube like videos of them like on the ship, and you know it's just a ship sitting in a warehouse and there's green screens around it and everything else, but like the ship is so well done and like
Yeah.
detailed that it makes it believable
Yeah.
and makes the background more believable because the foreground is believable.
Mm-hmm.
um but yeah, so that's my show stealer.
Yeah.
Did you
Like
have a show breaker?
another, hold on, another thing that I
Oh, did
want
you
to
have one?
mention. Now, one more
The
thing.
connection's really bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if it's that thunderstorm moving through. Um,
Yeah.
the one more thing though is, you know how a
One more
lot of
thing.
these old movies that try to stay
One more
period
thing.
piece, like they look
Yeah.
like everything smells like shit, you know, like how it would be. But because it's Disney, like you don't think like, you know, Johnny Depp and the Pirates, if this was real life, wouldn't be wiping. My showbreaker
Yeah.
is Gamora. I don't remember the actor's name. Uh but that character they kind of do nothing with.
Mhm.
Like everybody returns except her. Everybody in the other movies down the line, they all return. She's like, she has like 4 lines, you know, she steers the ship, she gets mad at Jack, and that's about it. They just didn't write a strong character
Yeah.
for her, you know. That
Yeah.
character could
That's
have been
fair.
cool, but
Uh, yeah. She could have been a badass and been like Jack's like sidekick, or Jack could have been her sidekick or something.
no,
Um,
they could
my
do it
show.
for they could do it for Keira Knightley, you know, but they couldn't do it for her.
They could have even made one with Keira Knightley and that girl teamed up and gone and done something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I would have watched that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't really think about it. I did notice her and I was like, so why is she even in this movie? But I
Yeah.
guess she was just trying to get parts and it's a big budget movie. So
Yeah.
you take what you get, I guess.
Exactly.
My show breaker is the big black pirate.
The quartermaster.
Is that who he was in this movie?
Yeah, he's a
He
quartermaster.
he just like took Jack to jail. Like him, I don't know what's going on with his teeth, right? I think I remember hearing something about like how his teeth were supposed to be sharpened or something like that. But like he just talks like he sounds like Tim the Toolman Taylor. Like he's just like, get in there. Like Jack's like Jack walks into the cell and he's like, go into the cell. And then Jack walks in and makes some smart ass comment and he's just like, ugh, and just walks away. I'm like, dude, what? And then like he walks up on like the Dorky Pirates, Like I never noticed it. I've seen this movie 1,000 times. I never noticed it. The Dorky Pirates, when they first get like what they think is that last treasure, and they have Keira Knightley, and they're dumping all their treasures into their little pirate piles, and theirs is just full of like furniture and clocks and like nothing of value, and everybody else has got like gold, silver, like jewelry everywhere, and he just walks by and he like mean mugs them
Yeah.
and then like walks away. I'm like, I don't like that character. Like I
Right.
don't like him. He didn't even need to be in a movie. Like, or if they were going to give him those roles, they should have told him to just like play it more regular. Like, don't, I felt like he was trying to overact for such a small part that it like ruined the part.
Yeah.
That's
You
that. Yeah.
you know who they
Let's
needed
cut
for
to
that
that
role?
part.
You know who they needed for that role?
The
Tiny
Rock.
Zeus. Well,
Oh.
Tiny Zeus Lister. Debo. They needed Debo in there.
Is he still alive at that time?
I don't know, but you
I
know,
feel like he was alive in 2003. I think he died.
no, I think that's what they were trying to find. They were just trying to find maybe, you know, English wasn't his first accent, but they liked first language, or, you know, I don't know. I didn't read up. I take it or leave it.
I just feel like the movie is so perfect that like that is such a careless ball drop that I was just like, dude, this movie is almost flawless. If you like, it's dated by its CGI, but like it's flawless other than that. It's a great story. It's a great like actors. To have that in there, it's just like, what?
Yeah.
Who didn't see this movie before they put it out? And be like, just cut that dude out. Just have him sitting in a jail cell. Like,
now let me ask you, does he ruin the movie though for you?
oh no, he doesn't ruin the movie.
Okay.
He does take me out of each scene.
Okay.
Each scene that he's in, like if he's background or just fighting, fine. I don't notice him. But it's only when he becomes vocal or like he's too close to screen, because I can see his like face doing that, like he's got like a mouth guard in or something. And then he tries to talk through that. And I'm like, no, I'm good. Like he just draws me right out of each scene, and then I have to like get back into it. So
okay. I mean, that's understandable. So all right. I know we're not doing it no more, but this one does for me have a cinema wow.
Oh, you can do it if it comes up.
Okay. Let's do cinema wow. Okay. My cinema wow in this, it's shot perfectly. It tells you everything you need to know. It's when Jack Sparrow is coming into the port, okay? And all we see is this awesome pirate just hanging on to the mast, and his hair's blowing in the wind. And the more the camera pulls out, that's when we start seeing, oh, he's just in a dinghy. He's not like on this majestic ship, this pirate ship. All we see is his little shitty shit, his little shitty ship sinking. And that tells us everything we need to know. He's a captain because he's steering the ship. He's a captain. He's not a good one because he's got a little shitty boat, you know.
But that's Gamora's boat. That's what she's bitching at him about at the dock.
Yeah.
She's like, where's my boat? And he's like, I don't have your boat or what, but that's whose boat that was in the beginning.
It's in
he
Kingston.
Took her boat.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's in Kingston.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that shot is perfect. Like
you
learn.
It is one of the absolute best character introductions I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was so smart, like so clever.
I mean, he looks awesome, and you think there's going to be, and it's just, you know, you are the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
Mm-hmm.
But you heard of me. You know?
But you've heard of me.
Yeah, that's
there
perfect.
Were so many good little one-liners in this movie too.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, that one obviously. One sticks out in my mind, but it wasn't even in this movie, and I could have sworn it was. but I think I remember what scene it is. So we'll get out when we get to that particular movie. I'll say it, but that uh, quote always sticks with me. So I always like to look at uh, the quotes in these movies, the one-liners, because there's so much fun. Like
Yeah.
there's so many.
Yeah. I'll say another scene
Mm.
is it's cinematically wow, because what you're dealing with CGI. You're dealing with all of those pirates having to be CGI'd to look like skeletons and then go back to their normal human characters.
Mhm.
And you have Keira Knightley, except for when they like bounce her up on the and she's like going to the camera like that kind of looks weird.
Mhm.
But the time and effort to move that camera to make sure that it there's not like, you know, background crap that just looks horrible, but everything looks smooth.
Oh yeah, that's all choreography. That's
Yeah.
all. That's a dance, and whoever did that for this movie did it extremely well.
Yeah.
And the background actors took it seriously and did it really well.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, that is very true. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I
So-
mean, yeah, all your cinema wow points are mine too. Same
Yeah.
ditto.
So you want to move to you
one
got
other
something?
it goes along with what you say, but the edit of this movie,
Yeah.
the way the camera cuts and the scenes and stuff, like I noticed it when in the towards the beginning when Keira Knightley falls off the fucking thing. It like you see her and she's like, whew. And then you see him and then you see her, like the water like moving like she just hit it, and he's like, oh my god, Elizabeth, or whatever. Like the way that's all cut together.
Yeah.
And it happens a lot in like big like scenes later in the movie, but the way they cut the movie together was really, really good.
Yeah.
Also, my biggest thing is well, you know what, I'll save that for my one moment.
Okay.
Let's
All
move.
right. Well, we were talking about lines. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes.
You want
But
to
you
go
have-
quotable lines?
Yeah, but you have heard of me is a great line.
Oh, absolutely.
But I really like also other lines like the parlay, the whole speech of parlay, where Barbosa is talking.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
And it
The
has
writing in the movie is great.
yeah. Especially because it doesn't it's still silly. These are bad guys, but they're still they're still really charismatic, you know.
Well, they're like the whole concept of the movie and the whole idea and the characters are all very animated. They're all very like, this is what a pirate looks like, this is how a pirate acts. But then when they get down to like the conversation to each other, it's very well written.
Yeah.
It very like it like the quote from the other one is when Jack is talking to somebody. I want to say it's like Barbosa or later in a movie, or it might be that Spanish guy. But he's like, Jack, your words make you hard to see. And like that just rings so true through all these, because he's always talking in circles and like leading you one way. And it's like you can't even get a good grasp of him as a person because of it. So like, but Barbosa, when he talks, you listen because you know he's going to say something awesome.
Yeah.
Like when he's like, oh, we're just simple pirates, and she's like, it means this, and he's like, oh, I'm disinclined to something your request. Like, you know, it's such good writing.
He's an educated man.
One of my favorite quotes from this movie is where Kara sees Barbosa for the first time, and she like as the skeleton or whatever, and he's like, you're off the edge of the map, there are monsters here. Like the way he delivers that, it was all very good. I love that.
Yeah, it's badass.
I did think it was a little creepy, a little creepster. It made me a little uncomfortable. I felt like Keira Knightley needed to take a shower after the scene where he's like, you must be hungry. why don't there's no reason to like use forks or whatever, like just have your fill.
Yeah.
And she starts eating and he's uh like if you hear him like as soon as she starts eating that turkey leg, he's like uh and he's like, have
There you
some
go.
more, have some
Yeah.
juice. And he's
Try the
like,
apples.
yeah. He's just like constantly, and he carries that fucking apple throughout the movie.
That's
Like
all the
that's
man wanted. That's all the
yeah, that's
fucking
what he
man
wanted.
wanted.
He just wanted that apple, man. Poor
I've
guy.
never known someone who just wanted a fucking apple
Fucking,
more than
yeah,
him.
a
That
granny.
must suck. But that shows now we're talking about the curse in the movie.
Right.
Yeah, you can okay, you know, they've probably done it a million times. When this curse is lifted, oh, I want to drink wine and rum, and I want to eat, you know, steak and that. And Barbossa's a simple Barbossa's a simple man. It's so it's so bad. The curse is so bad. Yeah. It's yeah, there you go. There you go. It's so bad. He wants something simple. Simple as an apple. Something that people would overthrow every day of the week.
At that time, that was probably like a delicious treat. You know what I mean? Like there was no Snickers bars and shit. So like that was like the sweetness right there, dude. Like those apples are so sweet. Like, yeah, that's the delicious treat. And I like that he like brought it with him to the tomb, like just as soon as it's good. I wish he would have taken a bite of the apple as he was dying.
No,
Like,
they couldn't have
got his apple bite.
No, the way they did that movie, like because he's still the bad guy, you know. We don't get to see the future, you know. He's still the bad guy. He does not get that apple, and the way the editing is of, you know, him Jack shooting Barbossa, and then he's like, you wasted your one shot, and then they cut to Will dropping the coin in with the blood, and then he just opens up his shirt and the blood just starts like soaking his shirt, and it's like perfect. That's the way you do it. That's the way you do it.
It could have just been like, all right.
Yeah. No.
Dupe, fell down dead. But you're right.
Okay, so we got lines, we got, you know, you got that one scene.
Yeah, so this scene is unlike any other scene in the movie, and it's right in the beginning. We go to Elizabeth's like mansion, plantation, whatever it is, where she lives, and Will's there to deliver a sword for the Commodore. And he's standing there waiting, and he touches that thing, the candle holder, and he breaks it. And I'm just like, number one, you've been on screen 5 seconds and you broke something, and somebody like that is comedy did not fit in this movie, but they put it in there anyways. That's like situational comedy that just has nothing to do with this movie. It was just like, this scene's kind of boring, have them break that thing. And then like, you know, it's just so awkward. But it like also shows you who Will is as a person. Like he's that fucking guy that's just like, oop, oh shit. Like, you know, it didn't fit the rest of the movie, but that's why I found it so funny. That was like, that's my one moment. The whole movie is a one moment. The movie's awesome, but
it really is. I'm still gonna go with my Jack, you know, coming in like a gangster.
Yeah,
that one's great. Maybe even the reason that they have to steal the big ship to get the small ship, you know, they can't steal the small ship to by themselves. You know, two of them can't do it, so they got
steal any ship by itself.
Yeah.
So they set them up. That's Jack Sparrow though. That cleverness is his character. Like, let's lure them out here while they get that ship going. Let's lure them out there, swing over to that one when they come over here, and we'll bounce out on the ship.
Yeah,
because it's already ready to roll. Like, that's perfect. You know what I mean? That's like, It's like getting the valet to bring you the expensive car that you're going to steal from the valet. Like, it's so perfect.
Yeah, yeah. I think I think it's in the third movie where someone says, "Do you think he just makes it up as he goes, or does he plan it all out?"
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right, let's soundtrack. I think it's that
It-
pirate soundtrack is
yeah.
known.
Yeah.
You know,
It's phenomenal.
yeah,
It's a phenomenal soundtrack. It's not like crazy. I wouldn't listen to it on its own probably, but it fits the movie. It's perfectly scored.
yeah, yeah. Um, we go from there. Let's wait to Thriller Kill, but let's do the $9 ticket. You buying a ticket?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll buy a ticket. I'll buy a ticket to any Disney movie where they shoot a man in the face and they let you watch his body hit the floor.
Yeah, the guy when they open up the doors and the pirates shoot him with a blunderbuss.
Yeah.
The only
Right
thing
in
I
the face. Right
the
in the
only
face.
the only thing I don't like about that is you can clearly see him in the next shot and
Yeah.
he's just laying there. It's
Yeah.
like there'd be powder burns, or at least his face would be caved in from buckshot.
Oh yeah, dude. I think that head would have been gone. I think that whole
Yeah.
face would have been, because back then, a point blank shot means you were getting hit with the object, the black powder, and the explosion from the black powder. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, dude, his face would have been gone.
Yeah.
But it's awesome that they were just like, yeah, we're gonna shoot this guy in the face. We're Disney. Get over it.
Oh man, yeah, I'll definitely buy a ticket. These are just like those classic style movies that I know I saw the third one in the theater. I didn't see the other two in the theater, but
I don't think I saw any of them in the theater, but I've seen all of them multiple times.
yeah,
I need to watch 3 and 4 again, I think. But 5 I've seen a bunch of times because it was on TV all the time. It was like
no.
TBS. No, what's
Oh,
next?
we're doing Thriller Kill, thrill it or
Thrill-
kill it.
Oh, dude, it's thrilling. I loved
Yeah.
it. It was a lot of fun. I actually might watch it again with my daughter tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a great. That's another good thing is that it's entertaining for the olds, but it's also entertaining for the kids. So yeah, it works perfectly. So
let's wrap this beast of a movie up. So let's wrap it up. Anything else you want to talk about?
Can I say another thing that I like? I don't know if it's historically accurate, but they're in the tropics. It's warm, right? Why is that woman putting hot coals in that bedpan and then putting it under the bed? Does it get cold there at night?
It might. I don't. If listeners, viewers, whoever you are, if you know, let us know. Does it get cold at night in the Caribbean? Because I imagine it's like the desert. It's like hot all day and then like 40 degrees at night.
No, I think it's like here, where it's like that humidity is just kicking all summer long.
Dude, yeah. I have a tendency to believe that I would not survive without air conditioning.
Yeah. Air conditioning, toilet paper, and like just a mosquito-free zone.
Yeah.
Like or flies and shit. Like I don't want to fucking deal with that crap.
Cool.
But no, I've always noticed that. Now I have been to like historically accurate places of that time, like Williamsburg, and I know those things existed, but like my brain just says, man, I would want that place as cool as possible. Don't put just like coals under my bed, to get warm.
That's my thing though. Like I think it gets cold at night. I think like the temperature drops and like to bitter cold, not bitter cold, but like to an uncomfortable cold at night, especially on the water. You got to remember, if you live on the water, which they do. Their mansion is on top, or whatever, is on top of that cliff, that bluff or whatever.
Mm.
So they're on the water. It's usually 10 degrees colder on the water, especially with a breeze. So
Yeah.
if it was only like, because you got to realize everybody is wearing big jackets and like overcoats and stuff like that. So it might not be as, and to, as a matter of fact, I don't know if this is like an editing thing that they didn't catch or what the case was, but when they go to Tortuga and they wake up, what's his nuts, and
Gibbs.
Gibbs, yeah, he throws the water on him. The second time he throws the water on him, when Gibbs is talking, there's like
Steam,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah. So it was probably cold. And that might, I don't know if that's like them saying like it gets cold at night here, or it was just cold that night when they shot and they overlooked it. But that lends to the theory that she did need some coals in her bed, I guess, if you really wanted to get that deep into it.
Yeah, I know. Climate change is a bitch.
Yeah.
Because I have been in Florida at night, and I don't know. People were sleeping on the beach. So,
Jerry, that's meth.
well, yeah.
That's and that's the housing market and the crisis and everything else. That's not because it's fucking nice in Florida at night.
We could just sleep on the beach. This place is amazing. You know, no, it's like
can't just sleep on the beach. You sound like Charlie right now.
Yeah.
This place is awesome, guys.
Yeah. They're specimens.
Yes.
But
and I guess you don't want this anymore, then, do you?
Oh, well,
what is it, Charlie? It's a piece of glass. Like,
no, it was a jewel I found last night for you. Remember? But
right, so we're done wrapping up pirates.
Yeah, I've noticed that. So I've always noticed. Like, I was just like, nah, my brain's telling me that's in Jamaica, and I don't know if Jamaica right now is like really in need of like heating units. You know, can you buy a heater in Jamaica?
You probably could, but it'd be the worst purchase ever. Let's see. Does it get cold at night in the Caribbean? Let's just settle this once and
just Google goes.
Okay, so the average temperatures are between 75 and 85 in both the winter and summer. It can get really chilly, however, especially early in the morning and at night. There you go.
Oh, okay. Well, I am wrong. I guess they do need heaters down there in Jamaica. So that's just like, I always was like, do you think they got Domino's pizza in Canada?
Oh, I'm almost sure of it.
Yeah, I had to look it up. Yeah, there's Domino's pizza in Canada.
Oh, dude, fucking in the Secret Life of Walter Mitty. He was in the Netherlands and he went to a Papa John's.
Yeah. All right, so let's start. Where are you starring it?
Man, this is really a tough one. I think I'm gonna go with 4.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
close to a perfect movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 4.5 as well.
If they would have blown that guy's face off like very gorely, it'd have been a 5-star movie.
No, but I will say this movie is a 4.5. But if you put it in the whole trilogy, like if we put the whole trilogy down, it's a 5. Because it's all.
This is all. You meant to say all the sequels.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
Because the trilogy is 3. There's 5.
I'm sorry.
There's number 6 coming.
What I meant to say was the whole franchise.
I just want you to say all of the sequels. If you put this one next to all of the sequels.
No, the sequel is the second movie. The third one is the trilogy.
Here we go again.
Everything else is a franchise.
You know that they're all sequels. They're all sequels off the original. So
no.
We've been over this. You've conceded once before. I will find the footage.
Yeah, I needed that conversation to end. So I was like, yeah, sure, fuck it, whatever. No, it's not. It's First one is the original. The second is the sequel. The third one is a trilogy, and anything afterwards is the franchise, as I've always said.
They're all sequels. Yes,
No.
exactly.
No,
So,
the second one's the sequel,
and the third, and the fourth, and the fifth, and the sixth. All right, help us settle this debate, people. Is the sequel just the second one only, or is it all the ones that come after the original?
Yeah, go back and watch our old video about that. No, after that, it's a franchise. Trilogy, it goes sequel, trilogy, franchise. We're fucking petty as shit.
You're just being stubborn as shit.
I'm just saying.
I know traditionally, yes, because I've always said, no, the sequel, no, the third one, no, the fourth one, no, the fifth, not like the third sequel, the fourth sequel, the fifth sequel. So I understand. I'm coming from your school thought.
Okay.
I just came woke, and then I realized what the sequels actually meant and what they meant to all of us. So now I call them all sequels. I'm not stuck in the past. I'm woke as fuck.
I'm glad you agree with me. So, but yeah, I will say if we put the whole catalog of movies together, it's a 5. This movie, 4.5 though, definitely.
Yeah. As a standalone movie, 4.5 against all the other ones. This is the 5. This is the number 5.
Yeah,
I like them all. I think that they're all at least a 4.
Yeah.
Even, I know they got a little ridiculous towards the end, but I still enjoyed those just as much.
If I were to list them, number 4 would probably be like in my top. I like that number 4.
You want to do a real quick list?
No, okay, fine. 1, 4, 3, 2, 5.
Okay. I don't remember them well enough to get them. If I had to guess, I would say 1, 4, 3, 5, 2. Is that what you said?
No, I put 2 before 5. I like 5. I like the villains of 5, but it has a good story. But it felt like after, like if they would have been filming 4 and 5 right after World's End 3, then they would be stronger. But especially 5 felt kind of like, let's do another one, and they kind of got wishy-washy, but it's still great. It's still, I prefer the villains in 5 more than the Davy Jones fish people. But the story of
that was good too. That was creative. Like, I see the point of the fish people, because you had skeleton people with a curse. Like, it's another curse. They're all sailors. They all revolve around these curses in the sea, and they're falling victim to certain ones. Like, every villain is a victim of a curse for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Whether it was put on them by Jack or Gold or Davy Jones or the Kraken or whatever the case is, like, they're all dealing with curses.
The only thing that I wish that they look like was like waterlogged, like seaweed and barnacles and like coral reef growing on them, but they still looked human. Like, I don't know, it got a little cartoony when Davy Jones had like a
lack of detail in the CGI.
I mean, some of it looked okay, but the crab like hand, and then he had like a lobster leg, and I was like, okay, I understand. And then but it would have been cool if that beard was just seaweed. Like, that's why I like number 5, because they all, like, their hair, they look like they were still in the water,
Yeah, that was one of the coolest things. Like,
yeah,
I loved that.
Like I like that idea. I like the skeletons. It's just like the fish people felt really cartoony, where it's like if they were just been like okay, you seen Creep Show?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what Ted Danza yeah, I know. Ted Danza looks like when they come back as the zombies. And that, you know, I can hold my breath for a real long time. You know, they have seaweed and they have like sand in their mouth, and you know, like if that's what they would have kind of looked like, but kind of like tone it up for kids so they're not freaked out the whole time, you know.
Yeah.
I could have
That's why they did it, because I think they were trying to get the kid thing into it.
Yeah,
like nobody got shot in the face, so
yeah.
like they were trying to like kid the factor. They were trying to like up the kid factor, because like I think with the first couple they caught older teenagers and younger adults with it, and that's where we fell in at that time. And then as they became more popular and continued to make them, they became more kid friendly.
Yeah, but the second one does have
Because
cannibals.
like there was, well, yeah, I mean they each have their own thing, but like in the first one you've got the hookers like slapping Jack, and he's like, oh, I deserve that one. Like there's like stuff in it that's not Disney, you know what I mean? Like somebody it feels like somebody made this movie and Disney was like, all right, we'll put it out, and they didn't check, because some of the shit just wasn't Disney.
Yeah.
So I think they tried to like get more Disney-esque as they went on.
Yeah, I can see that and stuff. I mean, I guarantee there were a couple parents after like, you know, like their kid really likes this, and like, you know, he wanted to go out and get the Jack Sparrow sword and dress up like a pirate, and he kept calling the juice box rum, and like a mom had to be like at a PTA meeting, and he's just sitting there like, why is the rum gone? And like the mom had to give that awkward like, it's a lion punch. We don't tell him that it's not rum. He just calls it rum. And then like there are like some parents being like, is that woman feeding rum to her kid? Yeah, it shuts him up. You know. So I mean, fuck, that's another thing we could talk about. Like how many people like really started pirating it up, you know?
Yeah, it became a trend, like the Captain Morgan stance, and like it I mean it was a phenomenon for a long time. It really was. I mean,
yeah, like I went to Florida 2013, and there are just so many people dressed up like pirates, and I was like, is this all because of, and then Tara had to explain to me, no, this is just Florida, like near the ocean. They always dress like pirates down here for some reason. Then I'm not talking about like, you know, that guy has just like a 3-cornered hat.
Right.
These motherfuckers had eye patches on and shit. Fucking, I'm like, I know he's got 2 eyes.
Bitch, I saw you blink at me earlier.
No.